Yankee, and I just slowly migrated my way down south. My mom used to always tease me and tell me, "You're so country, you're so country." So when I moved to Charleston, I called her and I said, "Well, I guess I'm home now." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess you are."
I
So
guess I'm home now.
yeah,
It's funny. It's funny that you use the word home because we're going to talk about that feeling you get when security, like the feeling of home when you get with hypnosis, and
yes,
the sense of security is very
yes.
important. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nicholas Tanek. This is Your Kinky Friends. We are very, very lucky to have a wonderful guest with us today. His name is Mark Kemp. We're going to talk about hypnosis for wellness, basically. But this is Your Kinky Friends. So, of course, yes, we're going to deal with talking about addiction, talking about dealing with pain and pain management. But it wouldn't be a Nicholas Tanek interview if we didn't talk about eroticism and erotic hypnosis. Ladies and gentlemen, please be kind, be cool, and have an open mind. Please welcome Mark Kemp. How you doing, Mark? What's up?
I am great. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everyone. No matter where you are in the world, I hope I hit everything.
Now, let's just kick it off the bat. Introduce you who you are.
Okay,
Um, you reach out to me. You have an interesting story. You have CP, correct?
that is correct.
And you have taken this, and this is my assumption. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I want to tell your story, but just so the fans can get an idea of what they're getting into is you've taken something like cerebral palsy,
Mhm.
and you kind of worked with your pain and used hypnosis to get your pain down to, I believe, from an 8 or a 9 to a 2, so to speak. We all go to the doctor, and we go to the emergency room, and they always ask, "What's your pain level?" 1 to 2. Pain is subjective, right?
Yes,
Pain is
indeed.
subjective. So you were telling me that you got your pain levels down. And one thing I know about the kink community, we understand pain. Wow.
Absolutely. We, we,
So I
we
want to talk to you. So tell
definitely,
me, tell
definitely.
me your story, Mark.
It is the story. Um, Pre-pandemic, one of the biggest rages in indeed the world was the opioid crisis. Now, I am a licensed optician also, so I spend a lot of time on my feet. We're talking 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. And my pain would sometime, as you alluded to, reach an 8 or 9 on a 1 to 10 pain scale. And I didn't want to take a whole bunch of drugs and pills, so I sought a more natural and holistic way to alleviate my pain. One day I was speaking with a friend, and he mentioned hypnosis. And like most people, I dismissed it. I was like, yeah, that's just for television. That's not real. And one day I was on what I like to call the University of YouTube, and it came across my feed, Hypnosis from Pain Management. Well, I tried that file and it didn't work. But what it did was it sparked a curiosity in me. And I began to look and search and dig. And then I finally found an audio file that worked. So I tried, and I was able to bring my pain from, like I said, an 8 or 9 all the way down to like a 1 or 2. Now, let me just note, you should never really eliminate pain from your body other than that of your choice. Um, because it's your body's alarm system to let you know that something's not quite right. But I was able to bring my pain levels down. And I did that for a number of months to a year. And then, the bells and whistles went off in my head. Ding, ding, ding. Since I've been so fortunate to find this science, I indeed need to share it with others. So I decided to, open a hypnotherapy practice. And I did. And again, one day I was on the University of YouTube while I was training, and it said erotic hypnosis. Ooh, now me being the kinky individual that I am, I naturally gravitated towards it. So I was on with my instructor, and I asked him, is the hypnotic orgasm really real? And he said, oh, it absolutely is. He said he himself, he'd only worked with one client doing it, but it's a real thing. And yeah, hypnosis is a part of your everyday life. we'll get into it from the ordinary things in your everyday life to indeed the kinky aspect of it.
The hypnotic orgasm. That sounds like a name of a band.
Oh, that is a good name for a band, and also
Where are you going tonight? We're gonna go see the hypnotic orgasms. They're great. They're opening up for the cringy squirms.
Exactly.
I do want to start by saying this. All right, trigger warning for some people. We're going to talk about some topics. We're going to talk about addiction. We're going to talk about death, pain, stuff like that. Everything we talk about kinky wise, this is between consensual adults. We are adults. We want nothing to do with anyone underage. We are consulting adults. Don't judge. It's not sexy. That's why you're not getting laid. Exactly. So, Mark Kemp, we got some questions. I was at Mischief Manor yesterday, at a wonderful party, and one thing I noticed about kinky people is that they all have to manage their pain in some way, whether it's physical pain through surgeries or something like that, or emotional pain, trauma, or something like that. When I was sick, I had a liver transplant about 2.5 years ago, and in the hospital, I couldn't do drugs. Drugs are great. You can't do drugs in the hospital, especially if you're dying of a liver transplant. Exactly. You can't have sex. Well, you can't, but not really. I wasn't having sex. My mind was there. So even TV was there. Books weren't enough. Stuff like that. I needed something for my mental state, for my emotional state, to go to sleep, to feel comfortable, to feel at ease, just for a moment, just enough to go to, to get out of this pain for a little while. So I found solace in erotic hypnosis. Seriously, my kinky friends, right? Your kinky friends. Yes. A lot of us deal with hypnosis, erotic hypnosis, stuff like that. It's incredibly soothing. It's incredibly relaxing, and a lot of the judgment. It's okay to have these thoughts of kinky. It's okay to wear panties if you want to. It's okay to want to be tied up or something. It's that feeling, that ease, that helped. So in your erotic hypnosis, that feeling of acceptance, what are some things that you could say that trigger a sense of comfort instantly in somebody?
Well, here's the thing, Nick. When we deal with hypnosis, we're dealing with what's already within your subconscious. I'm not implanting anything. I'm giving you suggestions to pull out what's already there. In life, we often seek balance, to be in a state of homeostasis. So we seek that balance, and it's a matter of finding those things that bring you to that state of balance and that state of just existing in a peaceful manner within yourself. We all know that the brain is the biggest sex tool. So if I can stimulate that part of your imagination, or that part of the subconscious where you're allowed to truly be free and express what's really deep inside of you, as long as, like you said, as long as it's between two consenting adults, or as long as you give yourself permission to feel that, then it's a beautiful thing. You see, one thing that you'll find in the kink community is, especially when you're a newbie, you want to try so many different things. You're stimulated by the mystery of what's out there. What's the next adventure. But finding that, number one, that experienced partner, okay, establishing that rapport, that's one of the most difficult things about the kink journey. Is finding that someone you're comfortable with, finding that someone you trust, and finding that someone who is skilled. So
one thing I wanted to ask was, I start off everything like that, but I was too inspired. It's too impulsive. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. What's inspiring you these days?
Oh, the growth from within me, and the growth that I'm able to help others experience. It's phenomenal. It's like having an infant child when they take their first steps. It's like, wow, I can't believe you did that. I uncovered this about myself. I discovered that I really, really like this. You know, a good example that I like to give is when I spank someone hypnotically. You know, you know, when they're a newbie, sometimes they're afraid to let go. But when you can feel that in your mind, and then what it's true, whatever your mind can perceive, your body can achieve. So when I give you that suggestion, you're going to feel the impact of a spank on your behind, and then you actually
How do you how do you spank someone hypnotically?
oh, it's the same process. I'm going to put you over my knee, and when you hear me snap my finger or do this, you're going to feel impact on the level of 5 right now. When I count to 3 and I snap my finger, you're going to feel that on a level of 5. If you understand that, simply say yes. Then they say yes, and then boom, boom, and they feel.
So I've talked to a bunch of hypnotists on the show. Shout out to Baron Voltage, Serena, Rain. Each one has a different style. For
Yeah,
example, um, let me put this way. Baron Voltage has a kind of a gothic kind of style, kind of like a like puts you in like really dark situations in your mind. It's a thing, you know. Some people enjoy that. Um, Shout out to Mistress Angie from Belgium. She is amazing, wonderful, cross-dressing sissy hypno, makes you extremely comfortable,
mm,
very very comfortable, completely like everything is right in the world. And then in the hypnosis she'll take a dark turn and like throw you into like sex slavery. This is all fiction, consensual fiction, you know,
yeah,
stuff like that. But like and it gets disgusting, like you're in a dungeon in Paris or something like that, like a real dungeon, not like a BDSM dungeon. you know
yeah.
um so everyone's got style. Some people are very uplifting, some people are very empowering. Some other people are very degrading and humiliating. What's your style?
I'm a sensualist. You know, the actually the ideal person that I would deal with is someone who has a very high sex drive. Because I'm a pleaser, so I'll give you orgasms after orgasms after orgasms after orgasms after orgasms. I've been known to have some people orgasm for almost an hour.
All
Take
right.
me through peaks
So
of
let me
that
ask you this.
without that.
All right. So in the king community,
Mhm.
right, there's a lot of people who are just on the prowl to get laid,
Mhm.
literally, just to get their rocks off, right?
Yes.
Um, what makes you different?
What makes me different is because my first when I'm playing with someone in my personal life, I actually take the journey with them within my mind. I take the journey with them. But when I'm performing erotic hypnosis as a service, I'm there to I'm there to guide you. I'm there to give you the desires of what you want. At that point, I'm providing a service to you. So it's not about what I feel. It's about giving you the best experience possible. So you want to come back and use my services over and over and over and over again.
Now, there are many reasons why a person wants to be hypnotized, right? Could be drugs, could be anxiety, could be trauma, could be fun,
Yeah.
could be sex, or whatever. What are what's the reason do you encounter the most often? Because you don't just do it. You don't just like, I'm just erotic. You're a hypnotist. You're a wellness.
Yeah.
You are a hypnotist.
Well, in my professional clinic, on the clinical side, I deal a lot with pain management. I deal a lot with pain management, and during these hard economic times, actually mental and emotional detox, as well as adjusting one's mindset. Those are really really big right now. You know,
A lot of the friends out there, they're struggling with benzo addiction,
mhm,
fentanyl. addiction.
Yeah.
There's cocaine in every community. There's cocaine and amphetamines, stuff like that. So I want to ask about that. Dealing hypnosis, using hypnosis to deal with addiction. I struggled with addiction myself.
Mhm.
Hypnosis never. I mean, it helped. I was open to it. I don't think it like helped. It cured me, but it didn't hurt. You know what I mean? Um, it's not for everybody. What type of style do you use specifically for? Or let me ask you this: if someone out there is struggling with addiction right now, and they want to use hypnosis, or to for as something, is it the be all end all? Is it the end all cure, or is it just like something to help? And
That
where do they go?
that is the best question I've heard in a while, and I'm going to really lay it on the line and tell you the just the absolute end all. Here's the thing: if you really want hypnosis to work, you have to understand hypnosis itself does not cure anything at all. But what it does, it acts as a powerful, powerful, powerful assistant. You have to be at what we call it in the industry threshold. You have to be at that point where you're sick and tired and sick of being sick and tired of having this addiction that you are sick and tired of. Because if you are not at threshold, or if you're not at the point where you're ready to really really stop, whatever triggered you to start, it's going to manifest itself again. So what we would take a two-pronged attack. Number one, we got to figure out what trauma or what trigger causes you to start. We work on that trigger, and then we put something in place to make the act of participating in that addiction, to make it something that you just don't want to do. Like a good example, if your addiction is, say, cigarettes, right, or nicotine, what I would do if you really want to eradicate it, again, we work on what triggered you to smoke. And then at that point, so one thing that I like to do is I'd have someone think of the most vilest smell, something that just totally makes you want to hurl. And, I'd have them think of that. And then I'd have them taste that in their mouth. And then every single time you touch a cigarette, you're going to taste that in your mouth and you're going to hurl. And,
Mm.
and I would put it, and I would put it as a post hypnotic suggestion. So if you're walking down the street and you pick up a cigarette butt, because it is a cigarette, that trigger is going to cause you to hurl.
Oh,
But
definitely.
the key part of it is, number one, figuring out that trauma or that trigger that made you smoke in the first place. We attack that first.
Now, I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
repetition and mantras. Just like telling myself. I have a thread on Twitter or X called "I Keep Telling Myself," where I'm literally just using Twitter as data to give myself an ego, not an ego boost, words of inspiration to keep me going, so to speak. So I look through the thread throughout the years. So it's something I keep telling myself. I keep telling myself this. One of the things I keep on telling me to myself is problems are solvable. Problems are solvable. No matter how hard a problem is, problems are solvable. I made it this far, problems are solvable. So I keep saying that over and over again.
Mhm.
Repetition and hypnotism, you know, go together sometimes. So are there certain things to hypnotize yourself in order to kind of defeat or just to help kind of get over your addictions or to, just keep you going, so to speak?
Yeah. An affirmation, a simple affirmation. Drugs will not defeat me.
Yes.
Drugs are my enemy. Drugs is something that I used to do. I'm no longer a drug addict. That's something from my past. Affirmations are the key to everything in that regard. Because it gives you that boost throughout the day to remind yourself.
All right. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about, it's mostly the voice. Gangstar from Guru said it's mostly the voice. Now, in hypnotism, how can someone master their voice? Because it's all about. I'm learning. I'm doing an audiobook for my. I wrote 3 books. You know,
Mhm.
one of them is called "The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself," and I'm.
Mhm.
it reminds me of being back in acting class or being on the radio. I have to kind of hone my voice and tune my voice and make sure it's, so what do you do as a hypnotist, right? What do you do to your voice to make sure it works?
I set the tone. If the person is high energy and I need them to calm down a little, I'll start out at a nice high pitch, and then I will slowly start to slow down my words. And then as I slow down my words, I soften my voice. And as I soften my voice, it forces you to pay closer attention to what I'm saying. It forces you to say, wait a minute, I can't hear him. So let me stop all the motion within my body, stop the motion within my mind, and let me focus on what he has to say. And at the same time, if someone's coming in with low energy, I'll start out with a low voice, and then as I want them to get energized, I speak a little bit louder and maybe a little bit faster. And before you know it, the train has left the station, and now we're speaking faster and faster, and we're talking about the things that get us excited about life. And now, guess what? Now you're ready to go out and you're ready to chase your goals. You're ready to do everything that you need to do to be excited, to live the life you want to live, and just go get it. But then after we've gone through all that, and I need to bring you back down, I go from that fast talking, high pitched, and then I begin to slow it down once again, talking to you ever so softly and bringing you back to a place of calmness.
Thank you. On a segue, we must continue on now. I want to get a little serious here. Now,
Okay.
you have CP, you have cerebral palsy.
Yes.
Did you always know this, or was it diagnosed at a certain part of your life, or did you ever since you were born, you kind of people have told you this and you knew it, or well, please tell us your story.
Okay. Ever since I've had cerebral palsy since birth, and I actually consider myself fortunate because it's all I've known. I have some friends that have contracted the condition later on in life, and for them that's really a struggle because they were used to a different lifestyle and now they've had to adapt. Well, for me, this is all I've known. You know, so for me, everything with my life has basically been a workaround. Making things happen for myself in spite of the circumstance. So, my diagnosis is it's not who I am, but it is a part of me. But it is by no means me in totality.
I understand how that feels. It's like, you know, it's almost like you have to accept the cards you're dealt. You have to accept who you are. I'm sick. I had a liver transplant. I am not 100% healthy, but I'm trying my best. But I have to accept who I am.
Yeah.
I have to accept that I am a recovering liver transplant patient.
Mm.
We have another question. How do you live a kinky lifestyle while you're in so much pain?
Mm. You know, I, I simply, you know, I use hypnosis every day to take down my pain when it's at a level. I mean, do I use it all the time? There are some days when I go without it, but when I know I'm going to have a heavy day at work, I definitely do it. And I don't only use it for pain. I use it to calm down after I've dealt with an angry patient or someone that's having a bad day when I'm working as a retail optician. I use it to say, okay, take that negative energy away from me and away from my being. You know, I also use it when I know that I'm going to have a day that's challenging. When I know that going ahead, I use it to calm myself down and set my right mindset. And in terms of the kinky lifestyle, the pain really has no bearing unless I'm administering it to someone and they're again a consenting adult.
So, how do I hypnotize myself to sleep? I was thinking, right, bear with me before we answer the question. I think a lot of people out there take CBD or they take indica Some take heroin. you know,
Yeah.
uh, I've done it. I've done all of it. You can't depend on that. It's unhealthy. You'll die eventually. So there are certain ways you could use your own body, your own mind, hypnotizing myself. So how do I hypnotize myself to sleep? There are many times I look. Porn is a wonderful thing. Or I dream. I dream of stories, my movies, novels, all in my head. They complete. They start, middle, and ending all before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
How do I hypnotize myself to go to sleep, Mark?
There's several different ways. As we know, with hypnosis, the stages. There's beta, which is your waking state. Then there's alpha, and then there's theta. Theta is where you do your real work hypnotically. And when you simply close your eyes, you're going from beta to alpha. And then it's just a matter of, taking yourself deeper down into that theta state. You know, hypnosis is around us every day, and our subconsciouses are manipulated every day. It's done in marketing, it's done in business,
Oh
it's
yeah,
done in the
I
supermarket.
see it. It
Yes.
reminds me. It reminds me of the John Carpenter movie They Live. Where do you ever see that movie? There's aliens and there's these special sunglasses. They put on special sunglasses, or the human puts on, and he sees that all the billboards, all the televisions, that there's aliens among us, and they're just trying to brainwash us, basically. It's not that, but that's happening. But I mean, it's a movie. But it makes you look at the world differently. We're being hypnotized every day. We're being hypnotized who to vote for, what to eat, who to listen to,
Yes.
what to watch. So, how do we figure out what's true and what's not?
You know what hypnosis does. I like to think of hypnosis as concentrated, focused, in somewhat of a relaxed state. Now, that's you don't have to necessarily be in a relaxed state or a calm area to be hypnotized. I've seen people get hypnotized in casinos where it's loud and you got all the bells and whistles and all the distractions. You know, so what you want, you want to be in a place where you can allow yourself and allow your imagination to be free.
Mm.
That's one
Now,
of
back to CP. How has the having CP changed your romantic relationships?
well, you know, it's interesting. A lot of the people that I've dated and you know the people that I've been involved with intimately, they they give me the biggest compliment in the world when they say they don't see my disability because they see me, they see my heart, they see my intentions, and I'm just a regular guy who just happens to have CP. I developed a workaround for most things in my life.
Are you with someone now?
I am entangled. It's a
Mm.
complicated story.
Oh, it always is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, so you don't want to get into it. Okay. How do,
because
so it goes back to the question.
I did not discuss with them if I'm going to be discussing them. So
Of course, and consent is
yes,
the foundation of the kink community. So
yes,
let's consent. We're being mass hypnotized. We're being
yeah.
mass hypnotized. We're being told who to vote for, what to eat, what to watch, what to wear, and all that stuff. So how do we see through all this stuff?
It becomes a matter of knowledge of self, and how you perceive the world. You know, back in the Cold War, they called it propaganda. You know, the people of the United States were taught to hate Russia, and Russia was taught to hate, the people of the United States, and it was all a lot of it was propaganda. So much of the news is filtered to show exactly what the station wants to show according to what their agenda is in their program department. But there are so many things that happen in the world that do not make the news. You know, living in New York right after 9/11, a few days after 9/11 to a week or so, there was a big brownout in New York City. Never made national news.
I remember that.
Yeah, never
I'm in
made.
Jersey when that happened.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember that.
never made national news because people would panic. Oh
Mm,
God, here we go again.
yeah, and it's scary. We're living scary times, and
Yes,
it's
we
like
are.
we should know life is scary, right? The world is
Yeah,
it's always been, and it always will be. It's never, it's
it's hard
always
to
how we
believe.
deal with it. All right, let's get back to the questions. So I was at the Manor, right? I was at the Manor yesterday,
Mm.
and shout out to my friend Willow. They're talking about, and she's some questions. So one of the questions that Willow asks is, all right, how would this person through erotic hypno help alleviate a submissive's pain? So this is asking you that just so basically, how would you alleviate pain through submissive? Let's say a partner of yours, all right,
Mhm.
or a good friend, or yeah, a partner is dealing with pain. Maybe they not let's not choose addiction, something not let's not choose something deadly either. Let's say they got into an accident and they're in pain, but
Same.
you're comfortable enough to be erotic with them. So how do you alleviate the pain
Okay.
through erotic?
That could actually be done through regular hypnosis, non non-erotic. It would be something like, okay, Nick,
Yeah,
close
but you're
your eyes.
talking to me.
All right, you got all right. I would say, Nick, close your eyes and go deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into that hypnotic state. Now, as your eyes are closed and you're feeling, comfortable, yes, you still feel the sensation of pain in your back. But if you will, Nick, just take a moment and in your mind's eye, I want you to see a combination lock. And that combination lock, it has numbers from one to 10. And right now, what number would you say your pain is at? Give me a number. You say if you
Um,
give me a number.
3.
Three?
Well,
Okay,
now
Nick.
it's
Okay, Nick, your pain is on a three right now. Now I want you to see that number three on that combination lock. Okay? Now, as we turn that that tumbler, we're gonna turn it from a three to a two. Click, click. All of a sudden, now your pain or the sensation of pain is now at a two. Now we're going to turn it one more time. Click, click. And now it's at a one. Oh, there you go, Nick. Start to feel the comfort come to your body. There you go. That's it.
so here's something I thought was interesting. I was in the hospital right before Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And Sunshine, my queen, comes to the hospital under her regular clothes, garter belts, stockings, teasing me the whole time, and wants me to go to sleep. And the whole time, just telling me, brushing my hair, like running her fingers through my hair, and just very gently, telling what she's going to do to me when I'm better, when I'm out of that hospital. So it gave me something to live for. You know what I mean? And there's that style. I guess it was hope. So maybe that's why I'm kind of addicted to hypnosis. Can people be addicted to hypnosis?
Yes. Here's the thing. You know, I can produce, or hypnotists can produce the hypnotic change work without even putting you into a traditional trance. It's called, erotic, excuse me, conversational hypnosis. Where I'm simply talking to you, but I've done things to stimulate your subconscious. Let's remember, the human thought process takes place on two levels: your conscious and your subconscious thought. Now, the beauty of the human mind is the conscious thought, which takes up about 10% of your thought process, is always there to protect your subconscious, which takes up about 90. So, if you can, you know, tap into that person's subconscious thoughts as you're talking to them, you can bring about change, or you can affect their mood, without even putting them in the traditional trance. Think about it. Have you ever smelled food and instantly became hungry? Well, you were
Yeah.
hypnotized by the smell. You ever hear a catchy tune and you automatically start to tap your toe? You're hypnotized by the music.
Yeah. There's another level to that. Do you know what sissy hypno is?
Yes.
Okay.
That much I
for those
haven't myself, but yeah, I do know what it is.
for those who don't know, sissification, cross dressing, it is a major kink. It's one of my kinks personally. Last night, I was at the manor, garter belts, stockings, chastity device, hanging from the front of everybody, and being flogged by my beautiful Queen Sunshine. Um, Sissy Hypno was one of the ideas that created that. It was inspiration for that scene.
Mm.
So Sissy Hypno, basically, and the right wing conservatives are using it against porn, basically saying that women are using hypnosis to hypnotize men into becoming cock hungry whores. And so they could be pimped out and for content and for sex and everything like that. Does that happen? Sure. Yeah. It's real life. It's realistic. It does happen. Is it porn also in fantasy? Yes, 100%. Most of it is 100% consensual. So, what is your opinion of that whole narrative of using hypnosis to literally, in kink, to change somebody, to change their beliefs, their way of thinking, their gender, their sexuality, all of that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, the key is consent. If you are consenting to it, and you're consenting while not under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and you are doing it with a as sound as mind as humanly possible, then flow with it. That's the beauty of an alternative lifestyle. And when it's done right, actually those people who tend to call us deviant and saying that this is wrong, they really, really need to check themselves, because if you look at a healthy kink dynamic,
Yeah.
there's communication, there's trust, there's integrity, and there's as close to absolute honesty as you can get. Because
Right on.
you're laying it on the line. You say, yes, I want A, B, C, D, E, F, and I expect this. And when I say no, no means no. When I say yes, yes means yes. And unless you're getting into a little CNC, but then even within CNC, consent, non-consent,
Yeah.
there's still that baseline. That's what a
Hmm.
safe word is for. That
Definitely.
that's that open communication where you say, no, I am not into this. Do not push the envelope. And then
Now,
go ahead.
there's also a question DL Joey asked about ABDL hypno. ABDL is adult baby diaper lover. And just like the sissy hypno, there's basically hypnotizing them into being adult baby diaper lovers. Have you ever encountered this?
Again, I have not done it myself, but again, if that's someone's fantasy, and they can find someone that is willing to hypnotize them to that level, go for it. Again, one of the beauties of erotic hypnosis, is because you can experience the sensation without going through the actual act, you know. And you know, a good example of this non-kink, I once helped an individual that had a severe fear of heights, but above all things, they wanted to go on a balloon ride. So what I did was I had them watch a video on YouTube. So
And
therefore,
people can, just so you know, people can go to your site. Say your site again.
it is Tranquility Health and Wellness. The site is www.tranquilityhealthwellness.llc.
So you have pain management, smoking, vaping, I okay. Let's talk about smoking a little bit.
Mm.
All right. I
Now
like marijuana.
there's two forms of smoking now.
Oh
Now
yeah.
the cigarette addiction, and then there's
I don't
marijuana.
smoke cigarettes.
Okay, and
Yes,
then there's
I do enjoy marijuana for, and I use it for pain. RSO
yeah, yeah.
is great for pain.
You know,
CBDs,
I'm I'm I'm
you know,
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I had a friend of mine,
please. Marijuana story.
real pothead, real pothead. Went
Hemp
up,
with Kemp.
yeah, yep. Went for, was in line to get a government job, and they were drug testing back then. He's like, man, I'm gonna have to give up weed. I mean, he's a real pothead. And I said, nah, you kind of really don't. He said, what do you mean? I said, check this out. Allow me to hypnotize you, and I'm going to give you a trigger word. Whenever you want that sensation of being high, you can experience. You can turn it on by saying a word, and you can turn it off by saying a word. So you still get that sensation without the drug in the body. So yeah, you get that placebo effect.
Sunshine says, "Good day, Mark. I really liked hearing your voice. I'm sorry. I really liked hearing your voice work while explaining how you bring people in and out of hypno.
Thank you.
Definitely
Well, more
wonderful. So let's get back to the questions. We have a lifestyle question. Was there ever a time you felt burnt out or felt like you needed to give up the kinky lifestyle? What changed your mind?
actually, it was erotic hypnosis that changed it for me, because like most people, you listen to the mores and the norms of society, and you run away from the kink even though it's deep within you. And erotic hypnosis was a way for me to free myself and free my mind, and absolve myself from some of the guilt that sometimes people would try to lay upon you for partaking in this lifestyle. And I say, you know to hell with those morality police that want to be hypocrites, and they want to damn this and damn that, but they're doing it in secret. One thing I love, about the kink lifestyle and the BDSM community is we're saying unapologetically, this is a part of me, this is who I am. So you know allowed me to freely express myself and help people, discover that inner thing that dwells within them that just makes them tick. Let's face it, like you said earlier, some people are doing this, just to get laid and just to get their rocks off. But when that kink, when it's in your body, like in the middle of your back, that scratch you just can't get to, you got to
Yeah.
get a yeah. When that kink is really in you, man, when you get the opportunity to express that, ooh, man, it's life changing.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Mark. Yes. Stan Vladimir has the Stan question. He says, "Evening, Mark. If you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it in your kink life?"
If I had a superpower, actually, my superpower would be aimed at those individuals who refuse to see sometimes what's right in front of them. You can give them all the evidence in the world of something, but they're caught up in whatever dogma they're caught up in, and they allow it to just rule their life, and they don't question anything. It would be to turn those minds around, and I would use it to help everyone explore that inner thing within them that makes them tick, that inner thing that gives them that peace, that sense of belonging, that sense of balance.
Yes. Yes. Love your spirit. All right. Let's make some money. I'm done messing around.
Yeah.
Let's all right. So let's say someone hired us to create the ultimate hypnotic erotic audio tape. All right. What do you think it would? How do you think it would start? We would need a setting, right? Do you use
Yeah.
settings? and like locations, like you're at a beach or you're in the woods or you're at a brook or in the mountains or whatever. Do you do that?
It depends. Now, if I have a woman that just wants an orgasmic experience, I'm going to give them that orgasmic experience. Close your eyes. I want you to think of the last time you had an orgasm, whether it was self-induced or with someone. Close your eyes. Take yourself back to that space, and then from there we we create that space again, and then we let the orgasmic garden grow. Now,
Spindrift.
yes, yes. Now, if I'm going to create an entire scene, say if it's a dungeon scene, you know, you walk into the room, you smell the incense burning. There's some punk rock playing in the background, and all you hear is the sound of whips and chains. Ooh, it's causing your skin to tingle. Yes. Then you look across the room and you see the whip. Oh my gosh. Your body immediately starts to feel the sensation in your back. Oh my God. Then you hear the crack of the whip. Ooh, your flesh starts to curl with a pleasurable pain that just starts to open your mind. And before you know it, you're mentally starting to come. Yes, you're having a mental orgasm now, anticipating the sweet sensation of pain that's going to be a part of your body and your total existence in just a few moments. Now go ahead and close your eyes and begin to relax. Oh, yes.
Sadism plays a major role in this, in the kinky lifestyle. So I want to ask you this: you've talked to people, you go scour the internet, you've been around. What was the last thing that you really when was the last time you were really impressed by sadism, either yours or someone else's?
Okay. I impress myself all the time when I play with someone. You know why? Because I'm a cerebral sadist. I love a good mind fuck. To be able to say something to
Okay.
someone in the morning and then just know that that's circulating within their brain all day. Whatever I said to them, it's just getting to them, and it's building momentum, and it's building momentum. And now all of a sudden, when you get home, you're hot and you're ready to go. I walk through the door, and oh God, you're just ready to climb all over me.
What makes a good mind fuck?
Oh, see, that's that's determined by you and your partner. You have to know your partner's bells and whistles and triggers so well that you know if one of the thing that excites them is pain. So if one of the things that excite them is pain, so I may do something that, like, pinch their finger, because your nerves, there's a lot of nerve endings in your fingers. I'll pinch their finger really aggressively. That may that be one of the last things I do before I walk out the door. And then I'll just send you a text. Ooh, when I pinched your finger this morning, oh, I just want you to know that's a preamble of what's going to happen tonight.
All right. So, all right, we got to the couple questions. All right. Rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, but they can be. Recommend a film.
Hmm. They don't have to be kinky now. Oh, The Secretary.
Oh, that's a great film. That's a kinky film too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Secretary. All right. Recommend a book.
the book.
Doesn't have to be kinky, like I said.
1984, George Orwell.
George. Oh, now more than ever, right?
Yes.
Um, I will watch tomorrow. Back to the Nursery says. Said Back to the Nursery says they'll watch tomorrow. All right. Recommend a television show.
It's a British show called Hustle.
Oh, I saw that. I know
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yes. And
yeah.
also,
It's two guys and two men and a woman.
yeah, and also Leverage.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. All right. Recommend a meal.
A meal. Oh man, I'm 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 a pescatarian, fish and chicken, but oh, there's something about a good steak and potatoes.
Ah, okay. So we're gonna play a game. This is the word association game. Okay.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna say a kink or something. Right. You say the first thing that comes into your head. All right.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
no wrong answer. There's
Okay.
no wrong answer at all.
All
All
right.
right. So if I say spanking, you could say butt,
Mm.
or if I say spanking, and you could say the BBC show Hustle.
Okay.
Whatever the key is, the first thing that comes to your mind. Oh, Sunshine says Leverage is an old show, but a good one. All right, all right. You ready for the word association?
Yes.
All right. Splashing.
Not for me.
Okay. Whips.
A necessary thing. Yes.
All right. We're collecting some stuff here. Lingerie.
Beautiful, but sometimes totally unnecessary. Let's just get to it.
Oh, I got a lot of yeah. It's like blasphemy to make. Yeah, no, I have a lingerie fetish hardcore. What we got? Splashing.
I said already, not for me.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Spanking. The wrong ass one.
Oh, absolutely, I enjoy doing it.
Sissy hypno.
It's expressive.
French maids.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
The St. Andrew's cross.
Makes many people in the world happy if they only admit it to themselves.
CBT.
Ouch.
Ball gags.
Oh yeah, that'll keep you quiet.
Medical play.
Mm, careful, 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 careful.
And piss.
Mm. Nah, don't want to taste it.
Oh, okay. So Mark Kemp, how can people get in touch with you? This is your website. What is your website again?
It is www.tranquilityhealthwellness.llc.
All right. Now,
And also, if you want to reach me on FetLife, for those who want to experience, erotic hypnosis, or if they want a fantasy designed for them, I'm under Hypnotic Dog. That's HYPNOTICDAWG. Hypnotic Dog.
I would love to bring it up, but that's like it's bringing up FetLife like on a kink show. It's like a douchebag thing to do. Bring up other FetLife pages. So I don't want to like make it a habit of doing that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, go check out your site. Because you could do the naked. I could put it up to celebrate it.
Yes.
But also that means other people could. I don't want to contribute to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Fed is what you make it. You can make it a great
That
experience.
is what you make it. But that's one thing I would like to say though. We're all in this together in the kink community. See, like kink helps kink. Hashtag kink helps kink. People like you, Mark, you're helping people with addiction. You're helping people with trauma. You're helping people go to sleep. A good night's sleep prepares you for the day. Seriously, it's needed like food. So support people like Mark Kemp. Everybody. So how can people get in touch with you besides FetLife and other places? Anything else?
I am on YouTube. I sent you my links. I'm on YouTube under Tranquility Health and Wellness. I am on. Let's see. I got YouTube. I'm on Facebook under Mark Kemp and Tranquility, and I'm also on TikTok.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'm Nicholas Tanek. Please, I have 3 books. One of them is called The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself. No one kills himself in the book. It's a memoir. It's a love story. It's a true love story, but it's fictionalized. It's a I was reading it. I am holding auditions for my other book, Your Kinky Friends, for the audiobook. I want to make it with my friends. So you could be on, you could be, do a voice in it, be in it. Um, Support Your Kinky Friends. We have a Patreon, we have a Discord chat group. Support everyone I interview. We're doing this for the love. So please watch it with love. And you know the rule, everybody. Be cool, be kind, keep an open mind. Have a
Absolutely.
great